this week is Barbarian Kingdoms. This is very much a prototype. There is no rule book included in our copy yet. We had to look at the digital rule book.
We're making up our own rules?
I win.
Ah! Well, we don't have a rule book to dispute it. That's the show, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
None of these components will look like this, or maybe they'll look something close to this, but everything's going to be a little bit more polished in the actual copy of the game. This is a game of world domination, sort of like Risk. Amy asked that question earlier.
It looks like it.
Yeah,
We've got some territories going on.
It's set in the like
fictional lands of Europe.
Yeah, like a fictional version of.
I mean, we've got
Eurasia.
Italia, who looks like a boot.
Right.
We've got Africa, literally Africa, not even spelled funny.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We are each controlling a different barbarian tribe. And there are 6 possible tribes. This is playable with 3 to 6 players. We're playing it with 4 today because of table space and Kyle's lack of planning. And the turn order is determined by which faction you play as, because there's asymmetrical player powers, and you start on the board based on what faction you're playing as. So the 4 that we are, they have a little card in the box somewhere over there that like gives you like a recommended play set for depending on your play count, but you can mix and match however you see fit. These are the 4 they recommend for your first 4-player game. Eric will be our first player because he's playing as the Ostrogoths.
Heck yeah. It's about to get goth up in here.
Yeah, they're goth ostriches.
What?
Amy will be second player, playing as the Vandals.
The Vandals,
Ooh.
baby. Boo, boo, boo. Now you can see the
Perfect.
Vandals.
Nice.
And I've got my guy on a horse's name, Genseric.
Dustin is playing as the Visigoths.
Yeah, we're like the Goths, but we're more visible.
Yes.
There you go.
Woo!
And I will be last player playing as the Franks. We take turns until somebody reaches one of the 2 win conditions. The 2 possible win conditions are you eliminate 2 enemy kings, you specifically kill 2 kings, you win. Game ends, you win.
Wow, okay.
Just because you lose your king doesn't mean you are eliminated from the game. You're just kind of handicapped.
Gotcha.
The other way to win is to control 7 territories at the same time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everybody starts with 3. Like I've got these 3.
Okay.
And then you can gain more throughout the course of the game. I don't believe there's a way for anybody to take control of anyone else's starting faction or starting locations, but you can lose control of your starting location temporarily. On your turn, you have one of 5 actions. The first action you can take is the recruit action. Look at your player board.
Okay.
You've got 4 dudes lined up in a row here. These are your warriors. You will, if you're taking the recruit action, you'll take the leftmost because he's the cheapest, pay that much money, indicated underneath him, to place him into an unoccupied space that you control. So, right now, these are unoccupied. I couldn't place him here because I've got my king there. He's in the capital to start with. But I could place him here. If I'm going to do that, I have to pay his cost. And something that's interesting about this game, there is no central supply of tokens.
What?
Everything you pay to the space that you are taking the action in.
Oh.
I pay his cost, and I pay it to the space that I'm playing him to. That would be a recruit action. Next recruit action I take would cost me 2, then 3, then 4. And there's only 4 warriors per faction, so...
Do I have to take them in that order if I
Yes.
feel it's strategically better for me to take a 3 now?
You gotta go for the cheapest, according to the rule book. That is a good question, though, because of the fact that there's no central token supply, there's no change. Everybody starts with 3 bronze, which is worth 1 coin, 2 silver, which are worth 2 coins, and 1 gold, which is worth 3 coins.
It definitely changes things up.
And there's no change. You can take change from the space that you are taking the action in if the owner of that space says you can. So if you're taking an action in someone else's space and you're overspending, it's up to them to decide if you can take change from that space or not.
Well,
Gotcha.
why on earth would you let an opponent
Right?
take?
Yeah,
Right?
I don't. Unless you like form some like alliances or something.
Oh yeah,
here?
is this a
It's
negotiating?
like a backstabby thing.
There is diplomacy. You are allowed to form temporary alliances with each
Kill
other.
Kyle?
Kill Kyle.
That's a thing you can
my
do.
God.
That's a thing you can do. Second action you can take is tax. This is how you gain money. Tax allows you to take a total value of coins equal to the number of territories you control. So at the start of the game, we all control 3 territories. You can take a total of 3 coins from provinces that you control.
Okay.
So at the moment, I could take this one and this one for a total of 3. Or I could take this guy for 3. Or I could take those 2 for 2 and just sacrifice the 1.
So basic addition is what you're
Yes,
saying.
exactly.
I'm gonna fail at that.
That's the tax action. That's
Okay.
2 of your 5.
Taxation.
Recruit, tax.
Recruit, tax, maneuver is your next one. Unfortunately, these are not printed on. Oh, they're printed on your player board.
Oh, they sure are. There they go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the third action available to you is maneuver. When you take a maneuver action, you may move all of your units on the board to any adjacent unoccupied space that you own. So, if I wanted to move Clovis, I could move him here. Then I could move this guy over here.
All in one turn?
All in one maneuver action, you get to move every one of your units one space. Only into spaces that you control, though.
Okay.
Because, and there's also a castling option, like in chess. You can swap your king places with an adjacent warrior unit.
Or that counts as a maneuver action?
That counts as, that's part of your maneuver action. It's both of those units' movement for the maneuver. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but at that point it's just moving them, isn't it?
There's some
It
of them in
is,
one
but you
spot.
cannot move.
Oh, because they can't occupy
They
the
can't
same
occupy
time.
the same
Gotcha.
space at the same time.
Gotcha.
So that's why castling.
sense.
That's
That
why
makes sense.
castling is specified as an
I
option.
had the same.
You can do that. So maneuver, you can move all your dudes to one adjacent unoccupied space you control, or do the castling thing.
Cool.
In order to move into spaces you don't control, you have to use the assault action.
Yes.
The assault action allows you to take one of your units and move it into an adjacent territory.
Almania, die.
So
It also says that you can maneuver into the
oh
sea.
yes, also the sea. I keep forgetting about that.
Into
So you
the
can-
sea?
If you've
If
got a unit in a space that has a port, then when you take the maneuver action, that unit's movement can be to move into the sea. And then on a future maneuver, they could move back into a territory that you control with a port.
Holy
Or
cow.
maybe you've got that port, so you move him there, and then
Or
you move
maybe
him
you
there.
assault Brittany.
Or something like that. Or you could do an assault action from the sea.
Wow.
Okay,
Does it need
okay.
a port?
Yes.
You have to assault the port?
Yeah, to assault from the sea, you have to go into a port.
Okay.
It's got that little icon.
Oh my god, my island's feeling very vulnerable.
There are also a couple of straits on the board, indicated with these little dotted lines. That just means that those two spaces are adjacent. The sea is adjacent to every space that has a port.
Okay.
It's also the one space on the board where there's no limit to the number of units there.
Can you battle, like sea battles?
There's no combat that happens in the water in this game.
Cool.
Okay, so that's all oxen free.
Yeah. Okay, so the assault action, you can move one of your dudes into an adjacent territory you don't control to initiate an assault.
Okay.
If there is another unit, an enemy unit in
Hey.
that space already,
Right.
battle immediately commences between
Yes!
those two factions.
And that is why we play this game.
All right.
If not, when you assault an unoccupied space, then anybody who has a unit in an adjacent territory has the option to challenge your assault
That's rude.
in clockwise turn order, because only one person can challenge. So if Amy's got a guy right here and Eric's got a guy right here, and it's my turn when I move in here, and Eric says I'm going to challenge, he's the one challenging me. Amy doesn't get a chance. If he passes, then
Only one challenge.
yeah, only one
No
challenge.
triumvirate of challengers.
But if he passes, then Amy has the opportunity to challenge me
Okay.
instead.
Boop.
If it's unchallenged or if I win the challenge, then if I don't control the territory after that is resolved, I get to loot all of the tokens that are in that territory. These are all face-down money tokens, by the way, in the neutral territory.
Money is all that.
So they're going to be worth...
Oh my gosh!
I think some of them can be worth more than 3. I think some of them can be worth as much as 5.
Shut your mouth!
Wow! I'm calling the cops. 5 coins? You've got to be kidding me.
When a battle takes place, so if somebody challenges or if there's already a unit there when I assault that territory, then battle commences. First, you calculate your starting strength, or battle points is what it says in the rulebook. You get 6 battle points for, this is detailed on your player board. Here,
Loose
battle points. So at the start of a battle, you'll get 2 battle points if you control the territory that is contested.
Okay. And that's if you got
That's if you've got that shield token on the board.
Okay.
So all of your starting territories, you have control.
Oh, we got shields already.
You got two battle points to start a fight there. This sort of kind of, yes. Your king is worth 6 battle points. Any of your warriors are worth 3 battle points. After you've determined initial battle point strength, then you'll take turns starting with the active player deciding if you want to move any reinforcements into the fight. This is the only time that multiple units can occupy the same space, is during a battle.
Okay.
Right now, with the way that this is lined up, nobody's got reinforcements available. But let's say I've got a guy here.
What?
I could say I'm going to reinforce him.
He has to be adjacent?
He's got to be adjacent. Yes. I could say I'm going to reinforce and add him to the fight. Then Eric gets a turn to reinforce and add somebody into the fight. Once you pass, or you're out of units, there's no more reinforcing. Once all reinforcements are done, tally your total battle points again so everybody knows who's currently leading. And then, I think this is going to be a really fun mechanic. You can bribe soldiers in the enemy army.
What?
Here's how that works. So you've determined your starting battle point values. Let's say that this is how this battle's starting. I've got a warrior, I've got my king, I've got a total of 9 battle points. Eric's got his king. He's actually got 8 battle points because of his king's special ability.
Dang.
Which we'll talk about in a second.
Oh my gosh.
So, for the start of this battle, I have 9, he has 8. But now we can bribe soldiers in each other's army.
Okay.
This is why your treasury is kept secret behind your little player screen here. You will secretly load up one of these little pouches with money to bribe your opposing opponent's soldiers.
This is gonna be so stressful.
So you put money into the bag, and then you pass it to your opponent. Simultaneously, we'll dump out the contents of each other's bags and reveal. You get to keep whatever your opponent bribes you with, but they add that many battle points to their total strength for the fight.
But so they can't take your soldiers' battle points away from you.
They don't take away anything that you've already got. Yeah, it's like a thematic thing.
Gotcha.
And by the way, everybody starts with 10 coins. I think I talked about that.
Okay, I'll be counting what you spend.
But people, you're going to be pillaging and looting these face-down tokens, so you're not going to know. You're not going to know how much people have.
Yeah.
So the bribes determine once you add the bribes in, that's your final battle points.
Dang.
Whoever's got the most is the victor. Whoever loses all their units from that fight.
Oh god.
If they're warriors, they come off the board and go back to your player board. If it's your king, you lose your king, and whoever won the fight claims it to keep track for the endgame win condition.
Oh my gosh.
So they go back to your lowest open?
Yes. Okay. Warriors always go back to your lowest.
Okay.
Where's the king
your cheapest empty. King you just hold on to somewhere over here because if you get
in prison.
Back in?
Nope.
You can't put him back in the game if he loses?
No, because once you eliminate, if you can manage to eliminate 2 people's kings, you win.
I thought
so that's how you track
Commander. You could just keep bringing the king back.
No, it's more like Crusader Kings, where when you capture the king, they immediately concede.
They don't though, because you're still in the game. You just don't have your king on the board.
Oh well, I guess he's dead, so his son took over.
Yeah,
his son is a mere troop.
Yeah, his son is
just one of the regular.
His son is 5 years old and not ready for the power.
Yeah, that's.
So that's how battle works. Then at the end of the battle, if the winner does not control that territory, they get to pillage any tokens that are in that space. If you do control that territory, you don't get to pillage because they're your people. So you're not taking their shit.
Okay.
All right.
Those are the rules.
I guess.
Well, when you pillage, you take it all.
You take all, yeah, you take all their stuff.
And you don't need someone's permission like last time?
No, because now it's a neutral territory.
It's neutral again, okay.
Yeah, so, and if somebody's got a control token there, and then then they're not the winner of that fight, that control token then comes off the board. And then, then the winner gets to pillage if they don't have control. And you don't gain control of that territory, though, on an assault action. Because there's one last action available. That's the claim action. If, at the start of your turn, you have a unit in a neutral territory, you can use the claim action to say, I'm going to take control of this territory. To do that, you'll take a look at your player board. Once again, looking at the column where all your warriors are, except this time you're looking for the leftmost occupied shield token. You'll pay that cost to the space that you want to claim, and then you got to give anybody with adjacent units an opportunity to challenge.
What?
So, you say, I'm going to claim this space, you go ahead and pay the cost. You say, I'm going to claim this. Eric, would you like to challenge?
Yes, you can't have that.
Then we have a challenge. We resolve that. If I win the challenge, then I get to place my shield token on the board.
No, South France.
And that's how you gain territories.
Jeez, this is intense.
Now, a couple more things to mention before we talk about everybody's different asymmetrical powers. You can always... You can assault territories that are controlled by other players. If it's one of the spaces that's got a printed icon on it, you can't gain control of that territory, but you can take away control. To signify that, you cover that space. So that person no longer, then...
It's neutral.
Yeah, then that territory's neutral as long as my unit stays there.
Gotcha, okay.
If I move him out, it goes back to Dustin.
Gotcha.
So that's a way to stop somebody from getting 7 territories all at once.
Okay.
By just, taking away one of their starter territories.
Okay.
But they're always going to have 2 control points in challenge there, and you can challenge without any units if you've got control of the territory.
Oh.
If somebody comes in and says, I'm assaulting this space, then Dustin can challenge them whether he moves any guys in to reinforce or not, because he's got control of it.
Oh, because I get 2 battle points.
Because you get 2 battle points for having control of the territory.
Bride.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I see.
Lastly, there are 2 factions that aren't being played this game. You can't move into any of their spaces.
What?
These spaces
red or diarrhea brown?
Or, yeah.
That was my whole plan. I was going to come take over this
Those
place.
8 spaces are off the
I was going to take Wales because I love Wales.
What are these for, then?
Those are just to take another space off the board, basically.
Block.
Those are the basics of how the game is played. Let's take a look at our player powers, starting with our first player, Eric.
In battles, if the kingdom of the Ostrogoths controls the province, it adds to the battle points as many points as there are
coins
in the loot. So whatever I got, so I actually get 3 battle points.
Yeah, you get an extra 3 battle points from that.
But you have to control the...
Yeah, that's
if he has control of the territory, then these add to his battle points.
Okay.
And then in battle, my king gives 8 points instead of 6.
That's many powers.
Yeah.
Why do you have 2?
Everybody's got a faction ability, and the king
we got
has an
the
ability.
Pope.
Oh, okay.
We got the Pope up in here, so we're good.
So we'll take a look at Amy's powers.
My faction power is called Raid. Get ready. At the end of its turn, or during the evacuation stage after a victorious battle, the kingdom of the Vandals, that's me, may move 1 unit occupying a port province to the sea. Seems like for free.
Yeah. So in addition to whatever you do on your turn, you can move a dude to the
end of my turn. Oh, that's good because I am seabound. Okay, and then my king's ability is called Persecution.
Wow.
Opposing powers are disabled in the province where King Genseric is present.
So
get totally wrecked.
Yeah. So if you fight him, He doesn't get any of those bonuses we just talked about.
No, and all of yours.
Can I just say that the Ostrogoths have always felt a kinship with the Vandals?
You can say anything. You can say anything you like. I still will cancel you.
Influence anything.
The Visigoths. My first ability is Mercenary. After its turn action, the Kingdom of the Visigoths may perform a recruitment at a cost of 4 Tremis.
So after you take your normal action, you can recruit another warrior for 4 money.
For a ton of money.
Yeah, you pay full cost for whatever warrior you're recruiting.
Gotcha.
But maybe, I mean, that's just a bonus action if you've already got 3 warriors on the board.
Right.
The 4th one costs you 4 anyway.
Exactly. All right, and then my king's action is called Rapture. When King Ulrich wins a battle, a defeated warrior is permanently removed from the game.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
that is spicy. Except not in my presence.
I don't like that at all. All right, and then lastly, the Franks over here, the lowly Franks that go last. I have the ability Forced March. At the end of my turn, I may move any one of my units to an adjacent province that I control, or do a castle action. So I get to move 1 more unit, basically, at the end of my turn.
Oh, anywhere? No,
it's like the maneuver action. I just get an extra one with just 1 unit.
Okay.
But King Clovis has charisma. When King Clovis participates in a battle, all Frankish warriors are worth 5 battle points instead of 3.
Yeah,
not in my presence.
Yeah, except against Amy.
Against Eric is a mega canceller.
That is how the game is played. Those are our faction abilities and everything.
Let's play.
Let's get started. Hey, thanks for hanging out. If you want to spend more time with us, do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, head on over to twitch.tv/BNB Tabletop and give us a follow there. We play board games live every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a show we call The Board and Barrel. And we like to keep things interactive. You guys can influence what happens throughout the course of a game with our Buff and Nerf house rules. You can also make predictions on how things are going to pan out, play virtual bingo for a chance to win a free board game of your own, and heckle us and stuff from the chat. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you Sunday night.